I have a shocking revelation. I am not very good with kids. And I know what you're thinking. All I'm known for is hanging out with my kids. If I'm not good with kids, what do I have left? Well, nothing. But that's okay. But here's the clarifying point. I'm not very good with kids in general. I'm fine with my kids. And this point was driven home very poignantly recently when we had to babysit my niece. So like with my own kids, it's an easy mode. I mean, not that parenting is easy, but it's definitely easier than caring for like random kids out in the wild. Like my kids are biologically programmed to love me. They might be monsters, but at the end of the day, they're going to try to cling to me because they're dependent on me for food, shelter, and clothing. Those are key survival points. And at the same time, I'm biologically pinned to them because that survival instinct says I need my genes to survive and I can't just turn my kids loose in the woods. Like I looked into it. It's a bad idea. It's sort of illegal. You can't just release your children to grow up on their own, even though that would be kind of awesome. But with other people's kids, you don't have that. You're not raising them on a curve. And so my niece is almost 2. My wife and I, we kind of pounded out kids pretty quick there at the start of our marriage. And I'm the oldest of my siblings, so by the time any of my brothers and sisters had any kids, like I already had 4 kids. Like I was kind of over the whole new kid thing. We had done it. And so then the other kids come along, like, okay, that's great, there are children there, and I was not like the most doting uncle. It's like, here are my kids, I have successfully kept them alive for 6 or 7 years, there are your kids, they're your problem. And that was a good arrangement. The other day, though, my sister wanted to go to a concert or something because she's still young and, her child hasn't yet broken her will to live, so she gave the kid to us for a few hours, and it was a trip. Like, it was amazing how much I have forgotten about raising children, even though I am currently raising children. So all of my kids are old enough that they just go to bed. Like, they might not actually go to bed, but I don't have to feel bad about just sending them to their room and closing their door and saying, okay, you're on your own, I'm done with this. With that kid who was almost 2, like we had to sit there and rock her to sleep, and then it's like be quiet and tiptoe around and try not to set her off again. It's like, man, I had forgotten about this. Like the greatest day of parenting for us was when our kids were old enough. It's like, okay, they don't need to eat in the middle of the night. We're gonna take this crib out of our room and we're gonna put it in their own room. And at bedtime, they're going in this crib. It's like, okay, kid, I don't care what you do. You can go to sleep, you can hold a baby rave, you can do somersaults for the next 10 hours, but you're staying in this crib and I'm closing that door so I don't have to hear it. And it was glorious. And you can't do that with somebody else's kid. They kind of frown upon that. But yeah, I was a big fan of the closed door baby raves, and they just stay over there, not my problem. Also diapers. I didn't realize this, but I'm pretty much done with changing diapers ever for the rest of forever. My 3-year-old is potty trained. Now in the wiping department, we have some room for improvement, some major room for improvement, which is why she will sit there and scream, "Somebody wipe me!" For like 20 minutes until one of us hears her faint cry echoing through the house and we have to go and do that. It would be amazing if she could wipe her own butt. That would probably be my proudest moment. That would make me more proud than the day that we put her in her own room. But, and no pun intended there, it's not a diaper. It's still an improvement from a diaper. So we had to change a diaper that day. Like, man, why do I not remember this? Why does this not seem so familiar? And the reason is because parents live in the moment. When people say, what are you going to do when your 4 teenage daughters, or now when your 4 daughters are teenagers? I say, I don't think about that. Just like I don't think what they were like when they were babies. Like, if you focused on all problems with a kid, all the problems in the past, and all the problems that were coming up in the future, first of all, you would never have kids. And if you did have a kid, you would never have a second kid. Like, being a parent, especially being a parent of multiple kids, really depends on selective amnesia. You can't take this challenge as a whole. You take it one teeny tiny piece at a time, one day at a time. Which is why when we got this 2-year-old, it was so weird, because I'm not in 2-year-old mode. I'm in 3-year-old mode. That's a whole different mode. They're more independent, they get into more things, they dump glue on your floor, they feed entire loaves of bread to pigs. But it's different. It's different than a 2-year-old, because that 3-year-old, for all her faults, I can put her in her bed and leave her there and I'm done for the night. So that's what I realized. I realized I'm not a super parent. I'm probably a below average parent, truthfully. But I'm okay with my own kids because we've got that biological imperative. There's probably an impairment too. But that biological covenant that I'm going to try to keep them alive and they're going to try to keep me from killing them. And that's how we work together. As for everybody else's kids, well, that's why everybody thinks their parents are the greatest in the world, because they are hardwired to think that. And that's why kids think other adults are kind of weird and strange, because they're also hardwired to think that. And truthfully, that's probably a good thing. It's probably good that my niece doubts my ability to keep her alive. That's good survival instincts right there. Never trust anyone, especially me. So anyway, that's my revelation. I'm not good with other people's kids. I'm barely passable with my own kids. But it is what it is. I'm going to live in the moment and not worry about it. Please hit that subscribe button for more deep, dark secrets about all the ways I fail as a human being and a parent. Thank you.